Composing Gloves here, and today I'm going to be talking about, just a sec, let me check, okay, I'm going to be talking about hi-hats, not hi-hats, cymbals. We're going to talk about synthesizing a ride cymbal. So, I have a little pattern here, it's almost completely synthesized. I took a snare and layered it in there with another sample of white noise just cuz, and this is what it sounds like. So cymbals are quite a touchy subject. It's pretty easy to make a crash cymbal, but it's pretty hard to make it sound realistic. And so I'm not gonna bother with cymbals too much because they're just, they're just whatever. They're just cymbals. So okay, let's talk about so first I have the snare, I have this kick. Kind of interesting deal. So all right, so this is a cymbal. It's like a sort of a weird sounding high noise cymbal thing. I was originally going for sort of realism, and then I was like, screw it, I'm doing synthesis, so I did whatever the crap I wanted. So here is a piece of white noise, the same white noise in the impulse file in FL, so I grabbed that, turned the pluck on to give it that extra feel. The higher stuff turns off faster. As you can see, it decays quicker. This middle stuff is from the resonance and the custom filter shape. If I go over here, I have this ridiculous looking EQ profile. I have a filter turning briefly on, and on the custom filter, I'm doing this to get more of that cymbal shape. So this filter will turn on slightly more, and it turns on later on in the sound, creating this madness. It's going through a volume envelope, of course, your standard sort of fast volume envelope. It's got a pitch bend. It's actually been pitched up, and it's coming down slightly. Without it, helps it quite a bit. And then I've got a reverb and some compression. Other madness things going on here. I've got a sub on, just sort of turned it on, see what happened, and I never turned it off. It's going through some compression. So, and it's bringing up the mids and the highs quite dramatically, while the lows are also being boosted just a touch. And it gave me that sound. Now, that's the noise sound. The ride sound is that thing. So, man, this was like getting a particular tone, because this is how gongs work and stuff too, but man, it's just annoying. So, probably don't need that stuff. Okay, so what is going on here? Well, I've got these notes. I just sort of arbitrarily picked them, and as they get higher, they actually, for the most part, get louder, except for the really high one. So that's the tone, theoretically. But it's because I needed it to sound, like you're hitting a piece of metal with a stick. So I have this weird detune function thing on to sort of just get rid of any previous harmonic structure to try and jumble it up. I have it on Hertz mode. It's octave. It's Hertz. We've got it on Prism. I'm not touching this knob. It took me a long time to get it that way. I've got the harmonizer, also not touching this. These settings are kind of particular in the way they are. I've got a low pass filter going. So let's go in here. I've got some volume envelope, your standard sort of volume envelope. Got a little bit longer of a release. If you listen to actual rides, they ring out. Now, I didn't really get close to that, but I was looking online at other people's sort of synthesis cymbals. I wasn't impressed by anything that I saw, really. I was like, it's something that it'd just be easier to record one. But I was impressed with the completeness that you could get as an element in a full drum loop. So it's okay in that regard. As far as a standout separate thing, it's pretty, I've not heard one where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't tell if that's synthesized or not, unless you use like resynthesis with Harmor, which is sort of a cheap shot. We've got compression. So that's our compression. They got some boost on highs and mids, nothing really on the lows. The reverb, very particular reverb setting. All this stuff is kind of particular because you got to get your tone just right. So you get that. And we have this low note happening. Where the junk is that low note coming from? It's this thing down here. Okay, put it on. Low stuff is kind of cool. It's another little metallic thing that I dabbled with. And the notes and things are kind of important, but so it's up to you. That's my attempt at a cymbal with Harmor. Yeah, it's just whatever, man, bro. So, one other thing, I really quick want to cover the idea of toms. Toms are like kicks, only higher. So, this was actually originally supposed to be a snare, and then I messed with it a bunch. And then the only difference really is they have a longer, just a different pitch bend and a different envelope. They're a little bit longer for like your classic synthesized toms. Maybe distortion would help this a little bit. You could add it into your tom sound and get something that sounds really corny, like the 80s. Turn the low off. And then on the EQ, oh, there's nothing on the EQ. So anyways, that's sort of your tom-like sound. I'm using part B only. Got part A going. Part A sort of fits in it as well. Part A's got a similar envelope, a different pitch envelope, it's sort of a weird looking one, and a unusual harmonic structure. When you layer them together, they sort of form our toms. And now my kick is gone, but these are just really interesting things. We could do something quicker. Bring them up. So just some corny toms. I'm pretty much gonna call it good on drums because the ideas are there. They're very, very, very particular about how they're done. So if you have any questions, let me know. Subscribe and have a blessed day.